Imagine a secret so baffling it caught the attention of one of the most formidable intelligence agencies in the world. A method rumored to bend the rules of time and space, tap into uncharted realms of the human mind, and unleash powers most people never realize they possess. Known as the Gateway Process, this system was studied by the CIA and cloaked in Cold War secrecy. But why would a government body rooted in hard data and tactical planning investigate something that sounds more like science fiction than reality? Some suspect it's because the stakes were enormous. If the Gateway Process could truly help people see distant events, tune into hidden dimensions, or even slip outside their bodies, it might redefine how intelligence is gathered, and possibly open the door to unspeakable forms of mental manipulation. Over the years, declassified files and insider testimonials have only deepened the mystery. While some see it as a breakthrough in consciousness research, others suspect an undercurrent of something far more disturbing. In today's deep dive, we're unraveling how this Gateway Process began, why the CIA was so intrigued, and how rumors of clandestine psychic warfare still linger. By the end, you may find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about the limits of the human mind and the nature of reality itself. Unconventional beginnings. Our story starts with Robert Monroe, a broadcasting executive turned trailblazer in the realm of human consciousness. In the 1950s and 60s, Monroe's fascination with altered states led him on a journey few had dared to explore. After several spontaneous and baffling out-of-body episodes, he began systematically documenting what he called non-physical realities. Friends and colleagues were skeptical. Some labeled him an eccentric dreamer. Others quietly wondered if he was onto something monumental. Monroe's research didn't remain a private obsession for long. He amassed a small following of open-minded scientists, psychologists, and curious adventurers who wanted to push beyond the boundaries of normal perception. Eventually, he founded the Monroe Institute, a place devoted to the study of what happens when the mind lets go of everyday constraints. Though much of the mainstream scientific community was cautious, a few renegade researchers began testing Monroe's claims. The results were puzzling. Measured brainwave patterns during participants' travels and experiences suggested shifts that weren't easily explained by conventional science. Some participants claimed they felt themselves float out of their bodies or tap into an endless stream of creative ideas. Even in its infancy, the Monroe Institute spurred both hope and controversy. People whispered that the Institute's methods bordered on mystical illusions, yet participants reported life-changing experiences. Little did Robert Monroe know that before long, his experiments would attract the watchful gaze of government operatives searching for an edge in a rapidly changing world. Soon the Monroe Institute's exploration of the human mind would collide with a formidable agency, the CIA. The CIA's hidden interests. In the 1970s and 1980s, the intelligence community was hyper-focused on securing every advantage possible. Rumors swirled about Soviet psychic programs and disturbing claims of telepathic spies who could glean top-secret information without leaving their homeland. Convinced that unconventional methods might tip the scales of global power, the CIA pursued any lead that seemed remotely plausible. Against this backdrop, Monroe's findings about out-of-body journeys and synchronized brainwave states sparked serious curiosity. If even a fraction of his claims were legitimate, the potential applications were staggering. Imagine a scenario where an operative could project their consciousness across the globe to gather intelligence from locked bunkers, without risking physical infiltration. That's the kind of game-changer intelligence agencies could hardly ignore. The CIA allegedly funneled resources into studying this phenomenon under various program names. Some insiders insisted the goal was purely academic, to understand consciousness and the limits of what the human brain can do. Others suspected deeper motives related to psychological warfare or espionage. One rumor even floated the idea that certain US officials feared they were already behind, believing the Soviets had made strides in psychic technology or mind manipulation. From secrecy-laden offices, analysts pored over reams of data detailing Monroe's gateway training. Participants spoke of mental clarity on a whole new level, heightened creativity, or bizarre episodes that seemed to transcend normal perception. A hush fell over the project, with many files sealed away. Years later, a portion of the CIA's interest in the Gateway Process surfaced when documents about Project Center Lane, Stargate, or other parallel endeavors were declassified, though the revelations only raised more questions than they answered. Even now, many wonder about the real reasons behind the CIA's intrigue. Were they searching for a legitimate method of psychic espionage, Or was the agency purely exploring the edges of human potential? The truth likely lies somewhere in the middle. The science of hemi-sync. At the heart of the gateway process is an audio-based technology called hemi-sync, short for hemisphere synchronization. Normally, the two halves of the brain, left and right, each handle their own tasks. The left specializes in logic, math, and language, while the right is often linked to creativity, intuition, and holistic thinking. Hemi-sync claims to blend these capacities into a unified, super-awareness. How does it work? Through a phenomenon known as binaural beats. If you play a tone of, say, 100 Hz in one ear and 108 Hz in the other, the brain perceives an 8 Hz difference. This phantom frequency nudges your brainwaves to align with it, coaxing you into a desired mental state, like deep relaxation or intense focus. Gateway proponents argue that the mind, when balanced between the left and right hemispheres, can access extraordinary capabilities, from accelerated learning to out-of-body travel. But there's more. Some proponents link this synchronized state to quantum entanglement-like phenomena, suggesting that once the mind vibrates at certain frequencies, it can tap into a greater, possibly universal network. Skeptics warn this is pseudoscience wrapped in fancy quantum jargon, but certain CIA documents reference the idea that a unified mind might click out of normal time-space constraints at extremely high vibrations. Translated from theory to practice, that might allow glimpses into realms science can't yet fully explain. Is that an exaggeration? Or are we just scratching the surface of an undiscovered reality where consciousness truly becomes the final frontier? That question alone has fueled countless debates, dividing the scientific community and fascinating conspiracy theorists alike. Stepping into the unknown. Gateway techniques. Before you can scale these metaphysical heights, you start with a few simple steps that form the bedrock of the gateway process. One of the first is the energy conversion box. Practitioners are told to visualize a container where they mentally place every worry, nagging thought, or distracting emotion. By doing so, they park their mundane concerns, freeing the mind to wander into deeper levels of consciousness. Next is resonant tuning, a technique that uses humming or chanting to align the body's vibrational frequency. The idea is that everything in the universe, including you, is energy in constant motion. When you gently hum, you can feel your chest and head vibrate, harmonizing your physical self with ambient earth frequencies. Advocates claim this synergy lowers stress, boosts clarity, and prepares the mind for advanced psychic exploration. Then we have the energy balloon, a guided visualization intended to form a protective field around the body. Practitioners envision a bright sphere of energy descending from the crown of the head and enveloping the entire body, serving as both a battery and a shield. They say it helps ward off lower vibration influences, while reinforcing the sense of security necessary for traveling beyond normal mental boundaries. Once these foundational steps are in place, participants move on to focus levels, each representing a deeper stage. Focus 10 is mind awake, body asleep, a condition akin to a powerful meditative state. Focus 12 expands awareness beyond the physical self. Focus 15 explores the past, and Focus 21 ventures well outside typical ideas of time and space. These steps aren't mere abstractions. Many participants swear they perceive otherworldly landscapes, communicate with beings, or encounter a tapestry of cosmic information. Critics, of course, argue it's all an imaginative exercise, just your brain's creative storytelling. Yet the question remains, why did the CIA and other researchers invest time, money, and resources into studying these claims if there wasn't at least the potential for genuine discoveries? Shocking controversies and rumors. The gateway process is no stranger to controversies. One particularly wild rumor alleges it was part of a broader scheme for astral espionage. Think of it. Intelligence agencies training spies to leave their bodies and peer into far-off bunkers or secret laboratories. Could the gateway tapes really help someone slip away from physical constraints and glean intel from across the globe? Skeptics say such ideas belong in the realm of sci-fi, but scattered testimonies and partially declassified government documents suggest the notion wasn't dismissed out of hand. Some believe the CIA viewed the gateway process as an extension of MK Ultra, another highly controversial program that infamously tested mind-altering substances for possible manipulation techniques. Though official records never conclusively tie the two together, the hush-hush atmosphere around these projects tends to fuel conspiratorial thinking. Another point of contention revolves around possible dimensional contact. A segment of gateway practitioners claims that once you cross the threshold of Focus 21, you might meet non-human entities, some benign, others potentially hostile. Could these beings simply be figments of a creative mind? Or might people genuinely be interacting with forces beyond the physical plane? These revelations spurred talk of the Monroe Institute as a clandestine site for multi-dimensional infiltration. Online forums lit up with theories that the CIA's real interest lay in harnessing or controlling these alleged interdimensional gateways. Some even wonder if certain tragedies or mental breakdowns have been linked to novices dabbling in gateway methods without adequate guidance. So, is the gateway process a Trojan horse for mind control or a genuine cosmic key to unlocking human potential? No single piece of evidence confirms either suspicion beyond doubt, which only fans the flames of intrigue. Real-life accounts and astonishing results. Despite the swirling controversies, many who practice gateway techniques speak of profound transformations, often in entirely practical ways. One corporate executive recalled drastically improving his public speaking and leadership style after regularly using hemi-sync audio. His co-workers noticed he exuded a newly calm, centered energy, claiming he solved problems with remarkable ease. Others report experiences far beyond mundane improvements. Some describe vivid visions of distant locations or events yet to occur. A handful claim they witnessed crucial moments in future timelines or gleaned insights about personal and global developments. Naturally, skeptics dismiss these as coincidences or interpretations shaped by hindsight. But talk to a devoted gateway practitioner, and they'll insist these moments felt unmistakably real and well beyond typical daydreams. Then there are stories of personal healing. Individuals suffering from chronic stress, insomnia, or emotional trauma say the gateway practices offered solace they hadn't found in traditional therapies. By systematically relaxing the body and immersing themselves in carefully tuned frequencies, they felt negative patterns dissolve. While many mental health professionals remain cautious, some doctors and therapists have started incorporating mild forms of binaural beats into their treatment protocols. Of course, it's not all success stories. A few participants reported unsettling experiences, like disorientation or anxiety, after attempting advanced exercises too soon. Critics pounce on these accounts, suggesting that dabbling in profound mental states can have unpredictable psychological consequences. Some even accuse the Monroe Institute of downplaying these risks. Yet for every cautionary tale, there seem to be multiple endorsements from those who swear by the gateway's life-altering impact, bridging ancient beliefs and modern tech. If parts of the gateway process sound reminiscent of centuries-old spiritual practices, it's not a coincidence. Eastern traditions like Tibetan Buddhism describe states where practitioners transcend normal consciousness, encountering realms unbound by linear time. Hindu texts detail advanced meditation techniques that purport to guide the soul across astral planes. In many indigenous cultures, shamans use rhythmic drumming or chanting, forms of sonic driving not unlike binaural beats, to shift into altered states. The gateway process may blend these ancient concepts with cutting-edge research on brainwaves, creating a bridge between mysticism and modern science. One theoretical lens for understanding this is the holographic universe concept. Proposed in various forms by thinkers like David Bohm and Karl Pribram, it suggests that every fragment of reality contains the entire cosmos in miniature, a notion echoed in spiritual texts, which often proclaim that each person is a microcosm reflecting the macrocosm. For believers, hemisync might momentarily tune the mind into this universal hologram, allowing glimpses into a far-reaching matrix of information. Perhaps that's why some participants feel they access knowledge that's seemingly impossible to obtain by ordinary means. Some mention a sense of cosmic unity, as if they're no longer isolated beings but part of a vast, interconnected web of energy. Scientists heatedly debate whether any of these claims hold water. But from a psychological perspective, even if the effect is a deeply immersive self-hypnosis, it's hard to deny the real emotional and creative benefits reported by many. If the gateway process can break down perceived mental barriers and unlock hidden potential, does it matter if we label it scientific or spiritual? Conclusion. From its humble origins in Robert Monroe's personal experiments to its rumored adoption by government agencies hungry for an edge, the gateway process sits at a remarkable intersection of science and mystery. For some, it's a profound tool for self-discovery, creativity, and healing. Others see it as a gateway, literally, to realms where time and distance are no longer fixed barriers. And then there are those who fear a darker side, one where these techniques could be twisted for surveillance or psychological manipulation. No matter where you stand, it's clear the gateway process challenges conventional thinking about the human mind. Could we be on the verge of scientifically verifying what countless ancient traditions have taught for centuries? That consciousness goes deeper and potentially farther than we ever imagined? Or are we simply fooling ourselves with layered illusions? One thing is certain: curiosity about the gateway process has never fully subsided. Thanks to modern technology, more people than ever can experiment with binaural beats, guided imagery, and meditative states from the comfort of their own homes. Whether you believe the hype or approach it with skepticism, the fact remains that thousands have already been captivated by what they've experienced. So ask yourself this: if reality extends beyond the everyday limits of our senses, and if we truly can tune into something far bigger through frequency, intention, and practice, what might that mean for your own journey? If the boundary lines of consciousness aren't as rigid as they appear, perhaps we're all just one step, or one vibration, away from a whole new frontier. The gateway process might be an artifact of Cold War intrigue, but it could also be a glimpse into humanity's next radical leap in understanding who we really are. The question left hanging is, will you take that leap, or remain content with the boundaries you've always known?